Welcome to the 2D City Design Planning. In this activity, you'll learn about base, shapes, and area. For this activity, you will require white color paper, colored construction paper, a ruler, geometry shape template, eraser, pencil, glue stick, scissors, pencil sharpener, and sticky labels. This activity will guide us into designing a city using 2D shapes. You'll build the city using quadrilaterals. This will help us plan the way we're going to map out our city. For this activity, we're going to be using a certain type of shape. We're going to be using quadrilaterals. So these are shapes with 4 sides. So some of the shapes we may use are, for example, a rectangle. And a rectangle has opposite sides which are equal. So we have this side and this side are equal to each other. This side and this side are also equal to each other. Another quadrilateral we may be using is the square. So the square has 4 equal sides. So as you can tell, all sides here are completely equal. The next one we may be using is going to be the rhombus. So this is the rhombus here. And with the rhombus, we have all sides are equal. And also opposite angles are equal. So we have this angle here is going to be equal to this angle, and this angle is smaller, and so it's going to be equal to the opposite side angle as well. Another quadrilateral we may be using is the trapezoid, and this one has one pair of parallel sides. So this side is parallel to this side. These sides are not necessarily parallel to each other. So we're going to use a white colored construction paper. And on this paper, we're going to be designing our city. It's going to be a 2D city design plan. So what I'm going to start off by doing is I'm going to be creating a grid. So this grid will help us when locating parts of our city, whether it may be building outlines or street outlines. So we're going to start by creating a y-axis. So right here, we're going to create a y-axis. So this will be the y-axis, and I will draw the line, and I'm going to make marks for every inch. So we start at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and so on. So here we go. Okay, so we have our y-axis here. So y-axis, and then we're going to be creating our x-axis now. And I'll also mark every inch. Okay. And this is our x-axis. also going to go ahead and label the markings with the proper inch. So we have 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty, so that was our x-axis, and I'll start marking our y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're done with the y-axis. Now for my city, I'm going to be drawing roads that cross each other. And I think I'm going to start my road at the 4 inch here, and I'll continue on and draw the road upward, so on the y-axis. So that will be part of my road. My road here is going to be about 1 inch wide. Okay, so that's considered my road. And I can draw some lines here for the road. Okay, now next I will have a crossing road. The crossing road, I'm going to draw it a little bit lower on the y-axis, so I can start at 3 inches on the y-axis, and then I'll go across on the x-axis. And again, this will be a 1 inch road. So now I have my crossroad here. Okay. In my city planning, I have 2 roads so far. On this side of the road, I'm going to designate for shopping center. So I'm going to be using the shape template to create some buildings. These buildings are going to be rectangles, since I will consider them to be larger buildings. So let me go ahead and draw some of these buildings here. Okay, so maybe we have some that are in this orientation. Okay, so we have 4 buildings here, and I'll draw 1 more in this orientation. So, in this shopping center, I will be having 5 buildings. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a parking lot. So let me go ahead and draw a parking lot here for this shopping center. Okay, so that will be the parking lot, and let's say we have lots of parking here. All right, so that is our parking lot, and we have these buildings here. On this side of the road, I'm going to be drawing houses. So my houses are going to be represented by these squares, and these squares are going to be placed next to each other. So these are all neighbors. So let's see how many houses we have. 5 houses. Okay, and then I'll be drawing some small walkway to the road. So this can be either a walkway or a driveway. All of these neighborhoods, they're very close to the shopping center, so not much of a commute. All right, so there we go. We have our housing. In this small square, I'm going to be drawing a library. This library is going to be shaped as a trapezoid, so that'll represent our library. And then on the other side of the road, I'm going to be drawing what is going to be considered a school. So we have at this school, we have buildings that are in the shape of a rhombus. So 3 structures, 3 buildings that represent our school. So I'm going to go ahead and use the sticky labels to start identifying some of these sections. So we have this area will be designated. Let's see, so this area. We have our shopping area here. And here we have houses. This bottom corner, this will be a school. And lastly, the other corner will be library. And there we have our city planning. So we have 2 roads that cross each other. We have a school with 3 buildings, a library, a shopping center, and some houses. One thing we may want to know is how much space are each of these taking up. So for example, if we're going to understand how much space the shopping buildings are taking up, we may want to calculate the area of each building. So I'm going to calculate the area of this first building here. And I'm going to assume this length is 2 inches and this side is 1 inch. And in order to calculate the area of a rectangle, we're going to be using a formula here. So we have the area is going to be equal to the length times the width. So we have area is equal to length times the width. Okay. So now to determine the area of this first building, that's what we're going to do. We're going to calculate, so we have 1 inch times 2 inch. Okay, so the area, once calculated, of this building is 2 inches. So now we know that each one of these buildings takes up 2 inches of area. So what we may want to know is how much area do all of the buildings in the shopping section take up. So we just simply count how many buildings we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 buildings here, and we know that one building takes up 2 inches of area. So we can simply multiply 5 buildings times 2 inches of area, and we are left with 10 inches of area. So in the shopping center, all of the buildings are going to be taking up 10 inches of area. One other thing we may want to know is location of things on this grid. So for example, let's take a look at the library. So we have the library, and this is the front of the library. So we have a door and a walkway here. Okay. So then if we want to understand where the location is for that door, we can look at the X and the Y axis. And we can determine the coordinate location or the ordered pairs of that door. So the way we do this is ordered pairs are always X and Y. So to determine the location of this door, first we're going to look at the X-axis. So we're going to count from 0, 1, 2. So door is there. So we have on the X-axis, we are at 2. Then we will travel up, or on the Y-axis, so we travel 1, 2. So on the Y-axis, we have traveled in the up direction 2 units. So this front portion of the door is located at 2 and 2. So we were able to calculate area of certain buildings and find certain location of certain buildings. You may need to calculate area of other buildings. So for example, the library, you would need to be using the specific equation for the trapezoid. And then for the squares, you would be using the specific equation for the squares as well, and so on. And then you may want to be able to determine the location of the different houses. So you can do so by looking at the X-axis and where they are on the Y-axis. So you can determine the location of each and every one of these houses and each and every one of these shopping buildings and the location of the schools. In this activity, we covered quadrilaterals and some of their attributes. We also covered how to calculate certain area and how to locate certain features on the grid. Now that you've finished your city planning, you may want to be more creative and customize your plan, and you might want to use crayons or other methods of coloring in and identifying certain parts of your city.